When you think about iconic sci fi gadgets, there are a few that just instantly pop into your head. But man, hardly any are as recognizable or as absolutely central to a story as this thing. It's the key to infinite realities, the cause of countless disasters, and really the heart of Rick and Morty. So today we're going to break it all down, everything you need to know about Rick's portal gun. And that one line from Rick himself, it tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? For him, this device isn't just some cool tool. It's his lifeline. It's his primary motivation. It's basically a substitute for everything and everyone else in the entire universe. It's just fundamental to who he is. So, to kick things off, we really have to understand what this device is at its core. I mean, forget about all the chaos it causes for a second. At its most basic level, it's the thing that powers the entire premise of the show, the multiverse itself. Okay, so let's just get the basic specs out of the way real quick. Its main job, obviously, is interdimensional teleportation. It runs on something called quantum portal solution. And don't worry, we're going to circle back to that, but I want you to pay really close attention to that known creators line, Rick Prime and our Rick C137. That little detail is way more important than it seems, and it's absolutely crucial for what's coming up. So, this thing, which let's be honest, kind of looks like a souped up TV remote, is Rick's ultimate key. It's what lets him do more than just visit other planets. It allows him to hop across the entire fabric of existence, unlocking every secret and, more importantly, running from every consequence. But just creating portals? That's barely scratching the surface. This is not a one trick pony, not by a long shot. Think of it more like a mad scientist's Swiss Army knife. It is capable of so much more than just punching holes in reality. And this just shows you how incredibly versatile it is. The gun actually keeps a travel history, which is how groups like the Citadel of Ricks can track people. It's got a self-destruct function that creates an imploding portal, a pretty handy get-out-of-jail-free card. It can link up with other tech, and of course Rick uses it as a weapon all the time. Its true limitations, honestly, they seem to be whatever the plot needs them to be at any given moment. Rick's quote here is the perfect pivot for us. So now let's dive into the messy, gritty science that actually makes it all work. Because here's the secret. The most important part of the entire portal gun. It's not the casing. It's not the wiring. It's that glowing green liquid that's sloshing around inside. It all comes down to the fluid. So yeah, this stuff actually has an official name. Quantum transport solution. And it's not something you can just, order online. The source material is these glowing rocks that Rick has to get his hands on illegally, which just goes to show you how rare and probably how controlled this dimension hopping tech really is. And this is where things get really interesting. Turns out there isn't just one kind of portal fluid. You've got the official stable version made from those illegal rocks, but then there's the bootleg version, which a Rick can cook up himself. Now, the risk with the official stuff is mostly legal. You might get caught. The risk with the bootleg, total utter annihilation. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. A single miscalculation, one tiny error in the math, and the portal you just opened becomes a literal death trap. It just perfectly highlights that razor-thin line Rick is always walking between being a transcendent genius and causing catastrophic failure every single time he makes a new batch. Okay, this brings us to the final, and I think the most critical layer of the portal gun's entire story, because for Rick C137, this device was not an invention of scientific curiosity. It was forged in pure, unfiltered rage and a singular obsession with revenge. This timeline, it just lays out the whole tragedy. So you have Rick Prime, the original inventor, and he's offering the tech to other Ricks. Our Rick, C137, turns him down. He chooses his family over infinite universes. And for making that choice, Rick Prime murders his wife Diane and his daughter Beth. It's only then, completely consumed by that loss, that our Rick manages to create his own portal gun. So this is the takeaway, the really crucial point. While tons of Ricks use portal guns that they were just given, only 2 are known to have actually created it from nothing. Rick Prime, who invented it for, well, who knows why he does anything, and Rick C-137, who created it for one reason and one reason only, as a weapon to hunt down his family's killer. And that forces us to completely re-examine the gun's true purpose throughout the whole series. Is it really just a fun sci-fi gadget that kicks off every zany adventure? Or is it something much, much darker? A constant handheld reminder of unimaginable pain. You know, this comparison to Doctor Who's sonic screwdriver is just perfect because it shows exactly what makes Rick's gun so different. Functionally, they're pretty similar, right? They're both these sci-fi magic wands that can solve whatever problem the plot needs them to. But their origins, they could not be more different. The sonic screwdriver is a symbol of adventure, of curiosity, of helping people. Rick's portal gun, on the other hand, is literally rooted in the absolute darkest parts of his character, his loss, and his vengeance. So, in the end, we're left with this question. Every single time Rick fires a portal, is he opening a door to some new hilarious adventure? Or is he just ripping open the same old wound that made him build the gun in the first place? Maybe. Maybe for Rick C-137, it's always been both.